What's up, guys? We are going into Grace of Wind for an all mission clear. Finally, 3 weeks late. Um, so, mission is clear within 20 turns. So, which we should get around 14 or 15 total, I think. So, but anyway, I just wanted to have some fun with some of the units I've pulled around Anniversary. So, the first four are, all units I've gotten within the past like month and a half. So, just kind of having fun with them. Couldn't find the friend I asked to be set up for this fight, so that's kind of why it's taken so long. It was such a dragged out fight, but in general, everyone has 30 or better lightning and light resist. The bosses are all dragon, so Melissa has Dragon Killer for us, and it's wind favored. But anyway, we'll go through the gearing real quick. So, Richt, base form, just a dark weapon, 10,000 needles, and Bushido Freedom. Shift form, max LB against dragons and, yeah, just dragons. Don't know where I was going with that but here's his gearing. So any, Elena, Malphasy, or Richt all have the same leader skill outside of Clash, so any of them can be set as your leader. So there's his gearing, his own card. Cog's card would work too, just any high LB damage card. You probably have to play with your gearing a little bit just to get max LB if you don't have him EX3 and his own card. So, yeah, and his resistances, both forms, some light and lightning. Deuce, light and lightning resist. Sword build. You do want Rick higher in the party order than her, just so she can get his sword in peril. But she's max dragon. She's getting chain cap up from Ibarra's card. And just some dragon killer. Is she max magic? Yeah, max magical dragon killer. So there we go. There is dragon killer on this sword, so that's kind of a, limited item that, source of dragon killer, but hopefully you'd be able to play with the gearing. I guess, can she do fists? No, and she doesn't have her own weapon in pearls, so I mean, she's not going to make or break the fight if she's max dragon killer. So if you don't have sword to die, I mean, I'm sure you'd be fine. Just some two-handed sword, but she does need Frivia's TMR to equip swords, or some other source of equipped swords. Elena, base form, a lot of lightning and light resist. We do get some pretty big imperils throughout the fight. They're 300 lightning at some point and 300 light at another point. So yeah, there's that. But here's her gearing for that. 3 stars for MP cost reduction. She's going to be spamming Barb Lazaja on some turns. But yeah, so Philosopher's Stone for some MP fill, Future Emperor for MP fill, her own card, and then Shift Form, she's max LB against dragons with this gearing. So there we go. Really, she only has one meaningful burst, and that's on the final stage. So if you can't gear her for max LB or max dragon in the shift form, I don't think it'd be that big of a deal. But anyway, I mean, she helps. But Malphasy, she has a lightning weapon in the base form, and she's still 300 dragon, 275 LB. With this gearing, Ibarra's card, and then shift form. She's max dragon, max LB. So there you go. Then Melissa, passive provoke, evade. I do need some more provoke on her. I just noticed the last time I was running this, but she does have 100 light resist. I think not sure the lightning was intentional, but she gets some light dot throughout the fight. But that's before we get imperiled, so. But we're going to be removing those imperils, so it's fine. So yeah, let me. How much evasion do we get from this? Is it 30? What all do I have geared to her already? Sea Dragon already. So what else can we give her to increase her provoke? Draw rate. Can we stack? No, we can't stack danger. So that's 30, 70. No, yeah, 70, and then another, is it just 20? So she's, oh, okay, that's 100 provoke with this gearing. But Super Ribbon and Obsidian Bracer, just for the status ailment immunity and preemptive breaks, and just a card for some more resistances. All right, so we will get into it. Okay. So we're going to get so we got preemptively broken here. So we're going to use Melissa to get rid of that. So shared immunity from Melissa. What else? Parasol Shield for some mitigations, and then Shelga. Elena is going to put up, she's going to do both of her breaks and then cover. Rick is going to 10,000 needles. Malphasey is just waiting on this turn. And Deuce is going to put up regen, some mitigations, and then Warriors Rhapsody just for a field with defense. Okay, so Melissa this turn is going to, we're going to set her up. She is going to Kurega, Bardarkja, and Chronic Flow for LB fill on Elena. Elena is going to do her base form LB for the modifier and mitigations. So you can send Elena first, then Melissa. Malphasey this turn is going to do her own As the Crow Flies, Wind Amp, and Rick is going to Zephyr Burst. Deuce this turn can wait. Okay. So first thing on this turn, we are going to Bushido Freedom with Richt just to get rid of the big 300% light imperil that we just got. So the boss is, if we didn't get rid of that, the boss is doing a fixed light attack this turn. That would pretty much wipe the party. So need to get rid of that imperil. And in case you're not familiar with the boss, this one puts up an unremovable defense and spirit buff for the first few turns of the fight. You can get rid of that with Kaito, but I mean, if you need to speed the clear up, but we didn't have room for him, so, and it's already been done, so I didn't want to repeat somebody else's strategy or technique specifically where it came to that, so. Anyway, so yeah, Bushido Freedom with Richt and target our own party. And again, we have Bardarkja from Melissa. Bushido Freedom hits first and then dispels. So you do want to make sure he's only single wielding. Okay, there we go. So Deuce is just going to refresh. I guess the unlocked regen, the original regen refresh, do the elemental field, and then all right, here goes for a magic modifier buff. Elena this turn can, what is she doing? She needs to refresh cover and breaks. So I'll just do her breaks and cover. Melissa is going to give, she's going to refresh shared immunity for the resistances. Shelga and Kurega. And Malphasey this turn is going to do her base form LP. Okay. So Melissa this turn is going to shared immunity again, just to refresh the resistances. Minutes of Might for the buff. And then give Dragon Killer over to Richt. Malphasey can shift and do her setup. So we do need a Wind Imbue, so we'll get that from Malphasey's Enoroga. Put up Murderous Mob for the Imperil field, Skilled Scavengers for her LB mod, and then Dreams of Flying for the store. Rick this turn can shift and just Perfect Dispel. Deuce is going to refresh the elemental field for the next, so it's still active on the first turn of the next fight. Then Elena can put up Protectica, Omni Cover, and Barrier. So now we kill. So Deuce is just going to triple Aurora. Elena's going to shift and do her shifted LB. Richt is going to LB. Malphasey is going to shift at LB. And Melissa, at this point, she could either bar Darkja to top Elena off if she still needed some LB fill. She could Kurega if somebody needed healing, but we're good on that front. So we're just going to Dragon Killer over to Malphasey. So we'll just send the front row and then Malphasey. So pretty comfortable overkill there. It's pretty squishy boss, so it's the easiest of the three stages. So okay, so this turn, Melissa is going to give Dragon Killer over to Richt. So we do want to drag this fight out just because of Malphasey's trance shift. So Dragon Killer to Richt, Minutes of Might for the buff, and Parasol Shield. We're about to get broken, and shared immunity doesn't give break resistance. It just cures breaks. So, actually, it does give break resistance. Never mind. We're just going to cure those next turn. Richt this turn can just Perfect Dispel, Zephyr Burst, and just Strength to Protect or Determination to Protect, whichever. Deuce this turn she can give us regen, mitigation, what else? Actually, we'll just triple cast regen, mitigation, and the field. We're going to skip her modifiers. Yeah, I was just tooling around with this fight a minute ago and accidentally killed one of the dragons on the burst turn, even though I thought I was doing kind of a nerfed burst. So just to drag the fight out, don't want her to have her skill modded. Malphasy, I don't think I'm going to skip her mod though. Hopefully we don't kill it again, but we'll see. So we'll just Anaroga with her, skilled scavengers, as the crow flies, and actually, you know what? I think I will skip Anaroga just so we don't have a wind amp of any kind on Deuce. So we'll skilled scavengers, as the crow flies, and then dreams of flying. So Melissa's already queued up. So we need to go to the base form with Elena, and she is going to put up cover, barrier, and Shelga. Okay, so we're going to cure those breaks with Melissa. We can shared immunity, give Dragon Killer over to Malphasy, and put up Shelga. Elena, we're going to wait on. Deuce this turn is going to just triple Aurora. Gonna LB Richt, and then Malphasy can shift it LB. So we'll just send them all together. I think Malphasy's last hit isn't going to cap, but again, we don't want it to, just so we don't kill the bosses on accident. And then with Elena, we can start filling LB again for next turn's burst. So Barbless Aja, just for a little LB fill. Put up Protectka, and don't really need Curega. If anyone needed healing, you could Curega, but we'll just Barbless Aja again. Okay, good. Okay, so now we just need a burst again. So Elena can, this turn, we will just Barbless Aja twice and then Curega. And Melissa, let's see, we can Chronic Flow, Bard Darkja for more LB fill, and Curega, I guess. Or if you really need it, Bard Darkja twice, but we don't. So honestly, we could just get away with one cast of Bard Darkja, I think, or Chronic Flow, but it's whatever. So we will LB with Richt again. Actually, we're just reloading everyone. So we'll just send Richt and Deuce and then Malphasy. So Malphasy's back in the base form, so she is going to tag chain this turn. So here we go. There you go. So do keep in mind, though, I think those bosses do have pretty high innate elemental resistances to everything. So if we didn't have Rick's perfect dispel with with an Omni Imperil, then that wouldn't work with Malphasy as well. Since, she has a lightning weapon. But even if her damage was nerfed, I mean, it was still an overkill, so it should be fine. Okay, so if you're not familiar, this boss's gimmick is that it imbues your party with lightning at certain thresholds. I think it's like 99%, and then every 25 below that, and it absorbs lightning. So we are going to make sure that we do no damage to it. We're going to heal it, in fact. So anyway, that's why Malphasy has a lightning weapon in the base form. But anyway, Deuce this turn is going to, let's see, we're just doing regen, mitts, and her defensive field again. Richt is going to Zephyr Burst. Malphasy is going to base form LB with her lightning weapon. And Melissa is going to put up resistances with shared immunity, Protectka, and Curaga. Elena this turn is going to put up magic cover, her light resist, and Shelga. Deuce is going to SLB for stat buff, LB damage buff. Melissa is going to SLB on herself just to unlock seconds of support on the burst turn. Malphasy is just going to give herself her As the Crow Flies for a long duration wind damp. Richt is going to just not do anything. And Elena is going to just refresh cover, Protectka, and Shelga. Okay, Elena's going to shift and do an LB mod for herself in the shift form, Grace of Procyon, or however it's pronounced. Deuce is going to just put up the elemental field, her modifier cooldown, mitigations, and just regen. Richt is going to, in the shift form, just perfect spell. Malphasy is going to shift and do her power-ups. So we can do Anaroga. Let's see, refresh the Imperil field, skilled scavengers, and then end with fleet-winged flyers. And Melissa this turn is going to give Dragon Killer over to Richt. Put up shared immunity and then Parasol Shield. Okay, now we burst, so shifted LB Elena. Deuce can quad Aurora. Melissa is going to give seconds of support over to Malphasy. Dragon Killer to Malphasy. And Chronic Flow. Richt is going to shift at LB, and Malphasy is going to shift at LB. So we will just send the front row and wait a sec, and then send Malphasy. We just want to make sure Deuce's fourth cast is weaved into Malphasy's LB. Okay, perfect. We may actually kill on this turn. All right, so now we're imbued with lightning, but Deuce and Malphasy both have pure magic skills, so we're gonna quad Eroga with Deuce and quad Eroga with Malphasy. And Melissa is going to give Dragon Killer over to Deuce. So now Deuce and Malphasy both have a 250 Dragon Killer. We'll do Minutes of Might since Deuce's LB wore off, just for the stat buffs, and just refresh Shared Immunity. Richt can go to the base form and put up 10,000 needles. In case we don't kill on this turn, we need some Mirage. And Elena can Omni cover. So, one of those hits will miss anyway. But Omni cover, barrier, and just an attack and magic break. So we'll just send Deuce and Malphasy, see if we win. Okay, there we go. So next turn would have just been giving Dragon Killer over to Malphasy and then just quad casting Eroga again. So let's see who did what.